Matchday 7 in the Champions League has officially come to an end, and the stakes are truly at an all-time high. Each game brought a certain level of intensity to it as we got to witness some incredible moments that remind us of why the Champions League is so special. The league table is nearing its inevitable conclusion with just one match left to go, and it will be make or break for certain teams on Matchday 8. Today we're taking a look back at all 18 matches from the 7th day of Champions League action to see which teams shine on the big stage and which sides have ultimately missed out on the playoff round altogether. The Champions League never fails to amaze us, and it's only going to get better. The first game of the day set the tone for the rest of the league as Atalanta and Sturm Graz faced off in a thrilling 5-goal encounter. The first half would get off to a fiery start, and within just 12 minutes it would be Retegui who had scored the opening goal from a tap-in, giving Atalanta a 1-0 lead going into halftime. The second half would kick off with a disallowed goal by VAR, but 4 more goals from Pasalic, De Ketelaere, Lookman, and Brescianini would cap off a thrilling 5-0 victory for the Italian side. Atalanta have all but secured their spot in the next round, while Sturm Graz are eliminated from the tournament. The next game of the day would see Monaco take on Aston Villa in a critical match for both sides with high aspirations. Monaco's first and only goal of the game would come in the 8th minute as Singo's header would slam into the back of the net, giving Monaco a 1-0 lead. Aston Villa would have more of the momentum for the rest of the match, but with 4 of their 5 big chances missed, Monaco would come away with a crucial 1-0 victory. Moving over to Spain for one of the most highly anticipated matches of the day, Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen faced off in a heavyweight clash for the ages. The German visitors were in complete control for the first half, and just seconds away from halftime, Nkapie's inch-perfect header would give Leverkusen a 1-0 lead going into the break. The home side refused to give up, and with 2 beautiful goals from Julian Alvarez in the 52nd and 90th minute, Atletico Madrid capped off an incredible 2-1 win. Both sides remain a handful of points away from the playoff spots, but where they end up is something that only time will tell. The next match of the day would see Benfica and Barcelona face off in easily the best match of the day and one of the best matches of the season so far. The game got off to an incredible start with Pavlidis scoring the opening goal in just the 2nd minute, followed by Lewandowski's beautiful penalty goal in the 13th minute to bring the game level at 1-1. Pavlidis would finish off a stunning hat-trick just 17 minutes later after a hilarious error from Szczesny in the 22nd minute, and a penalty goal in the 30th minute would give Benfica an insane 3-1 lead going into halftime. The second half would get off to a comical start with a FIFA-like goal coming from Rafinha in the 64th minute, followed by an own goal from Araujo in the 68th minute to bring the game to a 4-2 scoreline with just over 20 minutes to go. The Spanish visitors refused to give up, and with another Lewandowski penalty goal, a gorgeous header from Eric Garcia, and a powerful strike from Rafinha, Barcelona would somehow come away with a thrilling 5-4 victory. Barcelona secure their spot in the top 8 after this match, while Benfica will certainly feel like they should have come away with more. Moving on to one of the most shocking results of the day, Bologna went up against Dortmund in a match that very few people could have predicted. The game started off with a penalty for the visitors in the 15th minute, and it would be Guirassi's gorgeous Panenka goal that would give Dortmund a 1-0 lead going into halftime. The Italian side would fight until the very end, and with a tap-in goal from Dalinga in the 71st minute, followed by a powerful strike from Illing Jr. just 1 minute later, Bologna went up 2-1 with minutes to go. That scoreline would hold until the final whistle as Bologna came away with a crucial victory over a Dortmund side that simply can't seem to find the rhythm. Moving over to Belgium for the only 0-0 draw of the day, Club Brugge went on to host Juventus in a truly uninspiring match. There really is nothing exciting to talk about from this game, as the first and only shot on target in the whole match came in the 85th minute. Juventus continued to play some very lackluster football as both sides sit in a playoff spot for now. Moving over to Serbia for a polar opposite type of match, Red Star and PSV went head-to-head in a must-win match for the host side. It would be the Dutch visitors who would get the first 2 goals, with 2 separate headers from De Jong in the 17th and 23rd minute, giving PSV a 2-0 lead. PSV wouldn't stop there, and with the beautiful volley from Flamingo in the 43rd minute, the visitors would go into halftime with a dominant 3-0 lead. Red Star put up a valiant effort in the second half, but 2 goals from Njai and Giga in the 71st and 77th minute wouldn't be enough, as the Serbians would go on to lose this match 3-2. With this win, PSV sit in the middle of the table with 11 points, while Red Star's journey in this season's Champions League comes to a disappointing end. Taking our attention over to Anfield, Liverpool and Lille faced off in a great match for any neutral fans out there. It would take 34 minutes for the first goal to arrive, but Mo Salah's cool finish over Chevalier would give Liverpool a 1-0 lead going into the break. The French visitors would get a goal back from David in the 62nd minute, but Elliott's deflected shot in the 67th minute would see out the match as Liverpool came away with a 2-1 victory. Liverpool have now made it 7 wins from 7 matches, while Lille sit just outside the top 10 with 1 game left to go. The last match of the day would take place in Slovakia as Slovan Bratislava and VfB Stuttgart faced off in a 4-goal thriller. The first 2 goals of the game would both come from Leveling, with a great strike in the 11th minute and a simple tap-in coming in the 36th minute for the German visitors. The home side would get a goal goal back in the 85th minute after a gorgeous run and strike from Metsoko, but the Rieder's finish just 2 minutes later would finish off a solid 3-1 win for Stuttgart. We got to witness 33 goals across these first 9 matches, and there were still 9 more to go. The first match of the day would see a disappointing RB Leipzig side take on a slumping Sporting CP side. It would take just 19 minutes for Šeško to find the back of the net after some great team play, giving Leipzig a 1-0 lead that would take them to the break. It would be none other than Viktor Gyökeres who would get Sporting's tying goal in the 75th minute, but a scruffy goal from Poulsen just 3 minutes later would hand Leipzig a surprising 2-1 win. The German side get their first win of the season, while Sporting are now in a very dangerous spot with just 1 match left to go. The next match of the day would see Shakhtar and Brest face off in a critical game for the French visitors. The Ukrainian side would get their first goal in the 18th minute after a great run and finish from Kevin, and a penalty goal from Sudakov in the 37th minute would give Shakhtar a 2-0 lead going into halftime. That lead would last until the final whistle as Shakhtar come away with their second win of the season. Moving over to Italy, Milan went on to play Girona in a thrilling match from start to finish. The first and only goal of the first half would come in the 37th minute after a great run and strike from Leao would give the Italians a 1-0 lead. Girona's goal in the final minutes of this match would be called off by VAR, and the Italian side would claw their way to a 1-0 victory. AC Milan now find themselves in the top 8, while Girona now sit near the bottom of the league table for good. Taking our attention over to the English capital, Arsenal and Dinamo Zagreb went head-to-head in a solid encounter. It would take just 2 minutes for Arsenal to get the opening goal in the match after a great half-volley finish from Rice would give the London side an early 1-0 lead, which would last until the break. Arsenal would get their second goal in the 66th minute after a great cross and header was finished off by Havertz, bringing their lead up to 2-0. Arsenal's final goal of the game would come in stoppage time as Odegaard's tap-in would give Arsenal a much-deserved 3-0 victory. Arsenal now sit in 3rd place in the league table, while Dinamo will have to fight for their spot in the playoffs in their final match. Moving over to Glasgow, Celtic and Young Boys faced off in a crucial encounter for the Scottish side. Celtic had all the momentum and plenty of chances in the first half, but even with a 1.26 XG, the match went into halftime stuck at 0-0. Celtic's opening goal would come in the 86th minute after a comical bounce off the opposition defender Benito would lead to the only goal of the game. Celtic get a crucial win in their race to make it into the playoffs, while Young Boys remain at the bottom of the table for now. The next match of the day would see Feyenoord and Bayern square off in a vital game for both sides. The Dutch side would get 2 goals in the first half, with Jimenez scoring a beautiful goal in the 21st minute and getting a penalty goal of his own deep into added time. The German visitors had a plethora of chances in the second half, but it would end up being Ueda who would score the final goal in this match, giving Feyenoord a crucial 3-0 victory over Bayern. Feyenoord have all but qualified for the playoffs, while Bayern succumbed to their 3rd Champions League defeat this season. The next game of the day would be the marquee matchup between PSG and Manchester City, with both sides fighting for a crucial victory. The French side were completely dominant in the first half, but with their goal getting disallowed by VAR, the match went into halftime stuck at 0-0. The deadlock would finally be broken in the 50th minute after a powerful volley from Grealish, followed by a tap-in goal from Haaland in the 53rd minute, giving City a 2-0 lead. PSG would get a goal of their own in the 56th minute from Dembele, followed by another goal from Barcola just 4 minutes later, bringing the game level at 2-2. PSG's next goal would come in the 79th minute after a beautiful set piece would lead to a clinical header from Neves, giving the French side a 3-2 lead. PSG would get one final goal in stoppage time from Ramos as they complete the comeback and come away with a 4-2 win. PSG pick up some incredibly valuable points, while Manchester City are out of the playoff zone with 1 game left to go. Moving over to Spain, Real Madrid and Salzburg faced off in a match that was over before the first whistle was blown. It would be the Brazilian superstar Rodrigo who would score 2 amazing goals in the 23rd and 34th minute, giving Madrid a convincing 2-0 lead going into the break. It would take just 2 minutes into the second half for Mbappe to get a comical goal of his own, and Vinicius would go on to score 2 beautiful goals of his own in the 55th and 77th minute. The Austrian visitors would get the last goal of the game as Bidstrup's volley would smash into the back of the net to bring in the game to its final scoreline of 5-1. Real Madrid now sit in the middle of the league table, while Salzburg's hopes of making the playoffs are officially over. The final match of the day would see Sparta Prague and Inter face off in a rather uneventful match. The visitors would get the first and only goal of the game in just the 12th minute after a gorgeous volley from Martinez gave Inter a 1-0 lead going into the break. Inter would continue to dominate the second half of this match, but the match would end as a 1-0 victory for the Italian side. The Italians pick up their 4th 1-0 victory of the season as Sparta Prague are eliminated from the tournament. The second slate of games did not disappoint, and everything will be left to play for on Matchday 8. After plenty of exciting action on Matchday 7, here are the biggest headlines from around the league. Atalanta's dominant performance over Sturm Graz showed us just how good they really are, and their next match versus Barcelona will be a defining moment for their season. On the other hand, Leverkusen's complete collapse in the second half versus Atletico should be a worrying sign for both the players and the staff. The outcome of the Benfica versus Barcelona game was certainly controversial, and it sets up a thrilling Matchday 8 encounter versus Juventus for the Portuguese side. Liverpool's victory over Lille makes it 7 wins and 21 points for the English side, and they are without a doubt the favourites to go on and win the whole tournament. Arsenal's dominant performance over Dinamo Zagreb places them 3rd in the league table, and they have all but secured their spot in the top 8. Feyenoord's incredible victory over Bayern Munich needs to be a wake-up call for the German Giants, as their defending was truly awful in this match. PSG get an incredibly important win over Manchester City, putting both them and the English side in a must-win position for their final matches. And finally, Inter Milan's defense remains rock solid as they pick up their 6th clean sheet in 7 matches. matches. After 7 matches in the Champions League, this is how the league table is looking. Liverpool and Barcelona sit at the top of the standings and have secured their spot in the top 8. Arsenal, Inter, Atletico, AC Milan, Atalanta, and Bayer Leverkusen round out the top 8, but there's plenty of room for movement. Dortmund, Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid sit in 14th, 15th, and 16th respectively and are still in the danger zone for now. Juventus and Celtic can rest easy for a few days, but Benfica, PSG, Sporting CP, and Stuttgart all sit on 10 points, which may not be enough. Manchester City are the shock side that sit outside the playoff zone and they desperately need a win. Bologna, Red Star, and Sturm Graz are eliminated from the tournament, with the bottom 9 teams playing for pride with 1 match left to go. The league table comes down to one last match and I truly have no idea how it'll play out. But what did you think of Matchday 7 in the Champions League? What game was your favorite to watch and how do you think the league table will end up with just 1 game left to go? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more football content, tier lists, and everything in between, and as always, I'll catch you next time.